channel, Revive Beauty. My name is Donna and I'm so happy you're here. Today we have 3 projects. And here is project number 1. Here is our project 1, and it's a pumpkin topiary. I purchased this from Hobby Lobby, I think at the end of the season last year. I've had it sitting in a cabinet in my garage and I decided I'd get it out. We're going to make it a little dark and grungy, dark and moody. We're going to put some snakes on it, give it a little creepy. So we're going to revive this beauty. So I had to pull these leaves off. So I did try to pull these pumpkins apart, but they were so glued together it was impossible to get them apart. So here I am just cleaning it with a baby wipe. It was pretty dusty from sitting there all year. So I'm giving it a good cleaning. I'm going to get it painted. So I mixed colors. I was trying to get a darker green. So I started off with Fortune Sage by I Love Hue and some black. And as I tried it, it was lighter and not as green. It looked more gray, so I added some green to it. You can see here it's just more of a grayish blue. So I added some green, trying to get it more of the color that I wanted. You'll see as we go, it gets better. And the funny thing about this bottom pumpkin that I was working on, when I was done painting it, right there, it felt like velvet and it looked like velvet. It was so crazy. I just really liked the way it looked. So I'm getting it all painted and drying it. But it did turn out a pretty color. What do you guys think? So here I added a little more black to the paint, and I'm just going through the ribs of the pumpkin just to give it some shadow and dimension. As you can see, there you can tell it's really a pumpkin. Okay, so the next one we're going to do a darker orange with some black. So I first started off with French Kiss from I Love Hue, and it was more of a darker rose color. So I went ahead and added that orange to it, which I'm not sure what color that one is, but it might be your regular pumpkin orange. And I added some black to darken it up. So just getting that painted, and I'm going to do the same thing with it. I'm going to do some black and I go through the ribs just to give them that shadow effect. Yeah, see, I couldn't take it apart, so I had to try to work in between them to get it painted. It's sort of a pain, but it turned out okay. Been dealing with that, but in a way you could sort of see that bottom pumpkin, how it has a little bit of a velvet look to it. Okay, so I think here I'm doing some of the shadowing on it. Maybe looks like that's what I'm doing. Yeah, every now and then I'll get paint on the other pumpkins, so I have to wipe it off. Okay, here I'm doing the shadowing, sorry. So I'm just going around it with some black to darken it up, give it those dimensions. I think that makes a huge difference in the look. Let me try it a little bit. I'm sure you guys have seen these if you shop, at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. They always have them. Or you can make your own. You can buy 3 different sizes and stack them. That might be easier than trying to work with them stuck together. What do you think? I like the way that looks. So on the top pumpkin, I'm doing a black, and I'm mixing in warm penny, so it gives it a little metallic look. More of a excuse me, a copper tone underneath, and you can't really tell here. But it does look really pretty. It's a pretty color. I'm going to do some drying before I go in and do some more of that little detail stuff on it. I do have the videos sped up. I really can't paint that fast without making a huge mess. Trying to get around the stem there. And underneath. You can see I'm getting some black on it, which doesn't matter at this point because I'm going to be putting those appliques. You see those appliques laying there? I'm going to be adding those. And I used a new product to make those, and I'll be showing you here in just a second. So I used this mold. It's an IOD mold, Vertis, I think. I couldn't see it, sorry. And I'll leave a link for it. I think the company I bought it for has one left. And then I purchased this. It's called air dry clay. It's like a magic clay. It's like a stretchy foam. I don't know if anyone's used it. This was my first time using it, so I'm showing you guys, everything I did on one of the appliques. And I made a bunch of them in advance. So this was a real learning lesson for me. So I love the clay. It's so easy, and everything came out so beautiful. All the details of the mold, and I will be using it again. But the problem is when it dries, if you don't have it on the product already, because it will round and form, but if you don't, which I didn't, I made a bunch of them and didn't put them on, it dries to this really thin foam fiber, and they will break like a cracker. I mean, you could just snap a piece off like it was a dry cracker, like a saltine or something. So I had to work with that because I had made a whole bunch of them. I had my granddaughter help me, and her and I made a few of them. And so, I had them. I had to use them, but you can see there that they come out really good. And, I just went around it with my palette knife. It was real easy for those little areas. I tried cleaning it before I took it out, but you still have areas that aren't. You can just go around it. It comes off really easy. So what I found using this, so I put it on the pumpkins, which you'll see coming up here soon, and I painted them black, and then I left them overnight to dry. I came back the next morning, and they were all dried and cracked. So the white was showing through, like as they were drying, they were opening up and the white was coming through. So I painted them again. I went over all the little white specks. And anybody who works with any kind of like molds, like clay, it's hard to get them completely covered. But it was like a lot. So I was like, geez. So I painted them, came back the next morning, a bunch more cracks. I was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. So what I did is I went over them with Mod Podge. I went over them with Mod Podge, full strength Mod Podge, and you're going to see this. It's going to be coming up as I'm painting these. So I went over them with Mod Podge, and then I painted them after I got the Mod Podge dry. I went over it with paint, and let me pause here. I'm just trying to highlight those a little, just to give it that dimension. Anyway, I move further and start using metallic paints on these. So I don't know how many people like metallic, but you have to let me know how you like it. But anyway, so I used the Mod Podge and I painted over it, and that worked. It stopped them from cracking. So after learning this, I decided the next time I use it, I am going to form them, because they form really easy around the surface. And then once I get them formed, maybe paint them first. I don't know, it depends on what I'm working on. But once I get them formed, I'm going to go over them with a Mod Podge, just seal them, to see if doing that first is going to help the cracking and, them drying out so much that, the white's just going to keep popping out as they crack. I mean, it wasn't like huge cracks. It was just these little things where you would see flecks of white popping through as it dried. So anyway, that was a learning lesson I got from this project. So next time I will seal them with Mod Podge and then paint them, or maybe paint them first and then seal them with Mod Podge. I will be trying both ways. But I really like the product itself. It's easy. You get a lot done with it. And I really liked it better than the casting resin or the clay. Like the clay, I just can't do it. I don't know if it's the clay that I use. I've been using Jovi clay. But every time I try to do a mold with the clay, it just falls apart on me. So I don't know if anybody has any helpful tips. Let me know, because I just cannot do it. But I really did like that air dry. It's like air dry magic clay or something, and it's really like a foam. But it's fun to work with. It's fun to put in your hands and stretch and move around. It's one of those things that my granddaughter loves. She loves that feeling that different texture, in her hands. Like, she used to love Play-Doh. She used to love that other, oh gosh, I'm blank. I don't know what that other stuff is called that the kids like now. Slime. I think it's called slime. Oh, she used to love that. So that was a little glimpse of the snakes that I'm going to be putting on there. They are gold, and I purchased them from Michael's. But I did add the metallic paint. You can see here. What do you guys think? Let me know. Did you like the metallic? Would you rather just stayed with the color? So I'm just getting these painted and added. I will get them added. There we go. So that's when I left them. I came back. They were little specks of white. You might be able to tell that there's some specks in there. So just going over it. And then after I did this, I added the Mod Podge to seal it. And then after I did this, I add a little bit of rub and buff on these leaves just to give it that dimension, You know me and rub and buff. I love it. So here I think we're gonna see, you know, I get the Mod Podge out, but I don't think I show that. I just went around the whole thing with it. And then I think our next step we're gonna see the rub and buff. Yeah, so I'm going around it with the rub and buff. And I paint the stem on top with the rub and buff. So let me know what you guys think. This was a sort of a difficult project. It took me a while. And I don't know why. Well, I think it's because the white kept popping through and I had to keep painting it. And I think here I'm going to be putting these little snakes on. And I just left them gold. I did have some other ones that I got last year, but I could not find them, and they were more of a black tone. But I think these worked. So just getting these added. I'm only going to put 3 on. Just make them look like they're crawling around there. And try to dry it a little bit to get that glue to stick. Now I did, on one of them, I tried like heating it up and like squishing it to make it shorter, to make it look a little more coiled in a way, but that didn't work. Oh, I guess that's it. We're going to start project number 2. And here we're using this paper. It's called Pumpkin Harvest. And I purchased this frame here from Goodwill. I mean, it's a cute picture on it. And I painted it white because I want to add this picture to it. And so what I'm doing now, I don't have a water pen, so I'm just using a paintbrush that's watered. It has water, so I can just, you know, wet the paper and just tear off around it, just giving it a little bit of a jagged edge. So I go around the whole thing. This is in my store, and I will leave a link for it. It's a Dragonfly Crafts print, and it's beautiful, you guys. It's one of my favorites. So it has a little bit of the Dark and Moody, sort of a grungy look to it, and I think that's probably why I love it. So I'm putting down Mod Podge, watered down Mod Podge, and I'm misting the paper. I find that misting the paper really helps with wrinkles. You know, when you Mod Podge, you get wrinkles. I did end up with a little wrinkle on this, but you can't really tell. And like I said before, I'm not after perfection. So I think the imperfections make it unique. So I'm just sealing it now. Getting it all sealed with the Mod Podge. And then I'm going to go over all the white there with paint. I'm going to blend paint into that white area to match the picture. So I do several different paints. If anybody wants a list, let me know. But it was like a tan, a golden yellow, a black, a brown, and then I added a little light green to it. So you'll see as we go. I'm not an artist. I just do my best at trying to blend paints. It's probably like one of my favorite things right here to do. Just try to blend this in. So you can't really see what I'm doing. I will hold the plate up so you guys can see here in a second. Okay, there we go. So you see I have some golden yellow, I have a tan, I have a brown, a black. So I'm just trying to blend and match. I don't have the green yet. As I'm going along, I see, oh, this paper actually looked like it had a tint of green in it. So I thought, oh, I'm going to need to add green. Let's see, I'm going to find it out right here. Let's see. Oh, not working. Or maybe I already grabbed the green. I don't know. Sorry. I think I did. I think I grabbed the green. I just can't see it on the plate. So I'm just going to be going along the whole picture and blending that in. And I'm just doing it in like a tapping motion. I'm not like, you know, using lines. You know, I'm just tapping to get this all blend in. Oh, you can see the green on the plate. Yeah, I did grab it. And I'm not cleaning my brush. I'm just leaving it the way it is. And just adding to it, going around. Here I need a little more brown. I was getting too light. Just checking it. So I move it around, you can see some little, once you move it, you know, you can see little spots you might have missed. So what do you guys think? How'd I do? As far as blending, I'm not an artist. I think it looks okay. I think I did pretty good. Just getting it dry, and then I'm gonna go over the whole print with the Liquitex gloss varnish. And I think the varnish really helped seal it so that you can't tell a whole lot that, you know, color was added. Especially as it dries, it blends in a little bit more. I have some stickles on the side there. Stickles is a glitter glue. So I'm going to be going around the frame, and I'm going to be adding little touches here and there on the print. And it really helps when you're looking at the picture. It really helps to move your eye around So you can look at the flowers, you can look at the pumpkin, you can look at that little vase sitting there. So just adding little specks here and there of the glitter glue helps move your eye around it. So see, I'm adding just a little bit there, a little bit around, a little bit on the flowers. Not a whole lot, it's just a little bit. But it does help. And this is, I believe it's gold. What do you guys think? We're going to start project number 3. I usually don't do 3 projects, but this video took me a lot longer, so I thought I'd add this one in there. I'm starting with this paper mache pumpkin from Hobby Lobby, and this mold I was just showing. And on this one I used the amazing casting resin, which was a little difficult trying to form it around that pumpkin. So, and this mold, I just love this mold. I'll link it also in the description. It's a beautiful mold. I think it's redesign mold. The other mold that I used was IOD mold. This is a redesign. So I was just checking it, you know, trying to make sure as I'm going through, trying to finish up here. You know, there were areas as I was trying to take it off that weren't done yet. So here we go. And it came out looking pretty good. So, you know, when you first take them out, they're still a little soft. So I thought, oh, this is going to go around pretty good. It didn't. I had to work it and work it and work it to get it around. Re-glue it and work it. So after I got it somewhat on there, and then I taped it down so I could move on to the next. And taping it helped, you know, because it dried and it stuck better. But yeah, really had to work it. It was a hand workout trying to get this on there. But in the end, it was worth it. And the mold is so pretty. But maybe next time I'll try that air dry magic clay. Because I think that would have worked really good if I would have done it this way. And use the Mod Podge on it to seal it. Maybe before I painted it. So yeah, as you can see, it took a lot of work. I would get one end down, laying down good, and then something else would pop up. So it was a constant workout. I even used the heat tool to soften it up a little. But yeah, it was still a bear trying to get that on there. You can see I'm just constantly having to glue it, push it down, gluing it some more. Okay, so this is the paint that I used. You can take a screenshot. It's enamel paint, a green, it's a metallic green and a metallic black. And I will try to list those in the description. So I started off with the green, and then I used some of the black metallic, I think it's called obsidian. Then I added some black enamel, just a dot. I mixed it up, and it still didn't give me the color. Right now I'm at the color I want, so now I'm trying to match that. So then I had to add a little more green to it to get that color. So I'm going to go over it like before. You know, it's hard to get all the little nooks and crannies in these molds, so you have to go over them a couple of times. to get everything covered. But tell me, what do you think of this color? I love green. I love the color green. It's my favorite color right now. So I thought this green was beautiful. I thought it came out really pretty. And to me, Dark and Moody is a green. So, but this is metallic green, so a little more brighter than the Dark and Moody, but still gorgeous, gorgeous green. So yeah, I'm just going to continue going around. So when you turn things upside down, you can see areas that you didn't get covered. So that's what I'm doing there. Drying it a little bit. And making sure I got it all covered. And I think I realized I didn't have enough paint for the stem, so I had to make more paint. So I got that all mixed up. I'm going over the stem, which I really didn't need to, because see, I had this thing that was going to go on top. I don't know what this is. I assume it went to a jar, but I don't even know where I got it. Maybe Goodwill, I'm not sure. So I was going to set it on top. Well, that's what I do. I set it on top to make it look like a stem. So I'm just painting it the same color. Getting my hands dirty. Now we'll get everything dry. So now I'm going to go over it with Rub and Buff just to highlight all those details, because you know I don't do hardly anything without Rub and Buff. So how many of you guys like Rub and Buff? Are you guys a fan? Let me know. I love it, which I've said many times, I know. So this is going to be the end of our project here. I'm going to add the top to it here soon. So what do you guys think? Let me know, because I really like it. I like the color, I like the details. So here I am, I'm just adding the gold to the stem. And get that added. So I'll be gluing it down with some hot glue, because I like to switch it out. I used this same stem thing on a different pumpkin last year. So you see a little bit of it. Oh, there I am gluing it down. taking some of the glue off. So let me know what you guys think. Here's our final reveal. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.